Hello everybody, Nettie Owens here, and sorry for the late delay start. I had a bit of technology snafu, but no worries, everything is up and running, so thank you for your patience. And I'll just give everyone a minute to kind of find the feed as usual, and then we'll get into the Q&A. As we go along, just type your comments, type your questions, and anything that you have coming up for you in the comment section. Hello, and I will definitely see that and I will respond. So I'm looking forward to getting to spend time with you. So first of all, share with me, what is your big organizing or time management or productivity question that seems to be getting you stuck? Like, something that you've been looking for answers. Maybe you're looking for a tool or a solution, or you find that you're not getting your big work done. Whatever it is, type your question in the comments, and I will take a moment to answer that. Now I'm going to just make sure there isn't anyone trying to get in right now, so I'll take a brief moment while you type that in, and I'll be right back. I'll still be sitting here. I'm just going to look this way. Okay, very good. It looks like everybody is square and set, so awesome. Let's get that out of the way. All right. So I have some things I can certainly share with you. It's going to be a little more interesting if you come to me with your questions. I'd love to hear them. And let's just make that bigger. Whoops. If you come with your questions and I can answer them very specifically, that's kind of the give and take of a Q&A, and I look forward to having that back and forth. Hi, Mary. I'm so glad that you're joining us. So what is it? What is it that's getting you stuck? And it could be, it's not uncommon for the people that I work with to say, you know what, everything's pretty great. I mean, I'm a driven person. I'm great at setting goals. I get things done. People look to me to get things done, and yet something's missing. Either there's a really big project you'd like to work on, or you're always working, or you would like to learn a way to say no graciously, whatever that might be. Type that in the comments, because these are really common kinds of experiences that the folks that I'm working with have, and I'd love to strategize with you around those issues. If there's something else, if it's paper that's really got you down, or if your schedule is just overwhelming, just share that too. I'm happy to answer. If I don't get any questions, I'll go ahead and just start answering some of the most common things that people come up with, and then we can go from there. Now, as you're listening, I just want you to know and understand that part of me coming on here and sharing is also to talk to you about the Sapari Momentum Program, which is designed to help you, to take all these productivity issues and handle them on a day-to-day basis. So the accountability program, Momentum Accountability Program, is really an accountability coach showing up for you every single day. Mary, thank you for sharing. So email fatigue. Oh my gosh, you are so not alone in this. And if I had a room full of people and I said show of hands, everyone would have their hand up as far as trying to deal with email on a day-to-day basis. And it's not one email. I mean, for the most part, we have a personal email account, we have a work email account, might have multiple work email accounts that we're trying to manage, and if we're in a volunteer organization, we may have something for that as well. So it really, truly can get to be just too much. I like to think about email like I think about all kinds of clutter, and approach it in a similar way. And the first thing that I look to do is to reduce the amount that's coming in. And that is, start filtering. But we're getting inundated with email, messages, marketing, requests for help, information, all of that is coming at us 24/7. And now that we have smartphones, we'll get that ding, something new has just come through, and it can be completely overwhelming. When you're receiving 100 emails a day and you go on vacation or you take a business trip and you come back to 1,000 new emails, I mean, honestly, it would not be completely and utterly overwhelmed with that. So the first step truly is to find a way to reduce what's coming in. You can do that just by asking to be unsubscribed. So if you find that there's a person or a group that you're mostly deleting, unsubscribe from their list. Here's the thing. You're going to, there's going to be a million ways to get that particular bit of information. And the time that you spend looking for, looking through your email and managing all of that could have been spent actually looking for that bit of information in the moment that you actually need it. So going through and just starting to cull your email collection, basically find those people that you really want to hear from on a regular basis. And then, it's possible, just jot down a list of those organizations that, maybe you're subscribed to, a clothing company because they send you coupons. But how often do you use those coupons? You honestly would save more time and money by not having to deal with that in your inbox all the time. And mind you, I know that you probably found out about this particular program by an email in your inbox, so I understand the irony here. But it's really important to get just the information that's useful to you, in any given moment. A great program to help you do this, to help you unsubscribe and go through and delete emails on a large-scale basis is called Maelstrom. And I'm going to type that here in the comments so that we have it for everyone. Maelstrom. I think it's .com, but you can definitely Google that and see. But it'll help you to, remove yourself from mailing lists and get off of them. You can use it for the time being. The next thing is to set aside some time where you say, okay, instead of handling email as it comes in, think of it as, you don't handle mail on a second by second basis, right? The mail comes to your mailbox, you go out and pick it up, and you handle it at that time, maybe once a day, and for some people just once a week. So think about your email in that way. Once you pare it down, let people know. If you truly have an urgent matter to get in touch with me, you can get in touch with me by text. You can call me. You can pop your head in my office and ask me that quick question. Don't use email for that kind of fast response kind of communication. It's not meant for that. Truly, it wasn't meant for that. So first of all, culling, your list of who you're getting your messages from, but then setting aside some time, whether it's daily or weekly, maybe you handle, just kind of skim through and handle the important things on a day-to-day basis, and then set aside time once a week to go through and clean out and manage, the big stuff that's coming in. Let me know if that's helpful to you. If you're still finding that that email, even with those kinds of things, is elusive to you, then let's look and see at what exactly is coming in and where it's coming from, and then we can strategize a plan around how to handle those specific cases versus trying to find something that would apply to all of your emails that are coming in. They're not all the same. That's actually one of the biggest problems. Not only does it come in all the time with alerts all the time, but it all appears to be of equal value, and that's not the case. It's not the case. So, trying to filter out, you can use your email providers filtering. So you can set categories and say, look, all of this has to do with promotional material, so I might look at that once a week and empty it, or never. All of these people are people that are high priority. So I'm going to group those and make sure that they stay in this box, which I check maybe 2 to 3 times a day. All of these people send me information, CC me on things. I don't really need to be constantly looking. Maybe that's once a day or every couple days. So start to create your own system. You would do this, right? You would do this with paper. You would do this with phone calls with your friends. You really start kind of categorizing how you're receiving that information. So it's important to apply it here as well. I'm so glad you're on here, Mary. Thank you so much for joining in the conversation. I'm going to jump to, unless you have another question, which I'd be happy to answer, I'm going to jump to another kind of productivity, maybe snafu that people come up against, or something that brings them a lot of anxiety, and that is your to-do list. Your to-do list is likely just as long as that email list that you were sharing with me. And how do you sort that all out? How do you make sure it all gets done and in a timely manner? And how do you make sure not only all of that, but that you're focusing on the right things at the right time to make sure that you're moving meaningful work forward in your day-to-day living? And this is something that I love to talk about because everybody has an email list, right? Stuck in that conversation, but everybody has a to-do list. You are either keeping it in your head, or you're keeping it on a piece of paper, or maybe you're high tech and you're talking into your phone and it's going to a provider, something like Evernote or Asana or some other system like that, which are great systems. But still, you ultimately are the decision-making point of contact as far as what thing is going to get done in any given moment. And how do you make sure that you're picking the right thing? If you have any ideas on this, go ahead and type them below. I'm going to check in again and make sure that if people are trying to come through, that they are getting in A-OK. So I'll do that while you ponder. And okay, excellent. So, all right. So, first step, always, no matter what, is to cull your to-do list. Look and see what is on that list that does not need to be done anymore, that has expired, that that's not meaningful to you, that could be delegated to somebody else. Cull your to-do list. Go through that. The next step that I'm going to ask you to do takes a little bit more time. It's not just that first wave over things that are, you should just, this is getting the low-hanging fruit off the tree, right? We want to get that stuff out of the way, things we can make decisions on really quickly. And just a little kind of nugget to keep with you is that organization, time management, productivity, all of this at the most basic level is about making decisions. It's about making decisions in any given moment and consistently, and knowing what the best decision is, and being confident in the decisions that you're making. So being a really organized person, being on top of your game, so to speak, at the basis of this is being a great decision maker and being confident that the decisions you're making are the right decisions. So if you were to ponder that tidbit for a little while, you'd probably come to some aha moments or some awareness where you go, you know what? I wasn't making decisions. I wasn't making decisions about what went on my to-do list, or, who was allowed to email me, or what things I kept in my space, what papers I retained. I hadn't made those decisions. And so those unmade decisions just pile up around you and in your mind and onto your schedule. So if we want to keep that as sort of a theme that runs through all of the conversations that we have about productivity, time management, and organization, then that will be a really helpful basis for our discussion. Okay, so you go through your to-do list and you go, these little things, these can get off. I don't need to do this. Somebody else can do that mailing, whatever it is. We're gonna move those things off our list. And now what remains, you still go, you know what, all of this is so important. How do I get it done? It's gonna take me a long time, and 5 more things just got added to my list. So how in heaven's name do I manage all of that? It is not about your to-do list. The conversation, the action that you need to take at this moment is a much greater kind of thought process than your to-do list. It's much greater than your messy desk. It's much greater than your filing system. And so what I would encourage you to do is to spend some time thinking about and envisioning where you want to go. What is it that you want? What is it that you are excited about? Have you spent some time, any time recently, just pondering where you're going and whether or not the actions that you're taking on a day-to-day basis have any alignment with where you're going? Are you going like this? Or are you going like this? Are you going in two different directions? These two things have to be in alignment. And the only way that they're going to come into alignment and be synchronous is if you know where you're going. If you have taken some time first to think about where you're going. And what I mean is not necessarily a physical destination point, but what do you most want? What do you most want for the work that you're doing? What do you most want out of life? What do you most want in your relationships? What do you most want for your health? Now, on a kind of intermediary level, we could say some really off-the-cuff, easy, basic things. We'll say things like, I want to earn $10,000 more per year. That would be great. I'd feel really good if I could earn that much more money. Or, I'd like to lose 10 pounds. I'd like to go on a trip with my husband. Whatever it is. These are cursory, not actually getting into the deep stuff kinds of answers to these questions. If we were to dig a little deeper, what we're looking for is financial security, right? I want to earn $10,000 more because I want financial security. Well, guess what? When you start to get to that piece of it, that core, that really encapsulates what you want in your life, there are honestly a million different ways that you could get there, and that's very exciting. I said before that too much is, that too many emails is overwhelming, but in this particular case, you have just opened up the realm of possibility for how you can achieve what you want, and maybe you can achieve it in a different and better way than what's written on your to-do list. So let's take another one. You have health goals. You're gonna lose 10 pounds. Well, truly, what you want is to feel good in your body. To move with ease. To get a great night's sleep, and to feel calm. So if these are your goals, then there's so many wonderful ways that you can get there without focusing on I'm going to lose 10 pounds and this is the only path. We just opened up the realm of possibility, right? Last one we're going to look at, say, relationships are important to you. And you're going to take a vacation with your husband because that just sounds great and fabulous, and you're going to have such a good time there. What you truly want is to connect with another person, to feel meaningful in their life. You want rest for yourself, and when we look at that, then there are so many different ways that we could get it. And maybe the cruise is it, maybe a vacation is the way that we do it, but maybe we also simply add, a hug when our significant other walks in the door, and that helps us feel connected and meaningful. Maybe we take time for ourselves then and take a bath or take a walk and pause. And so the realm of possibility becomes wide open on how we can get what we want. So I'm going to encourage you. This exercise will take you 10 minutes. Now, if you want a deeper, better, more comprehensive way to do this, I did a class at the beginning of the year called Launch 2018, and we got a lot deeper into this discussion. That whole class, all of the documents, everything are still available on my website at sapariconsulting.com, or if you go to launch2018.com, you can gain access to that. I diverge, right? So 10 minutes, this is what I want you to do. I want you to to get into a quiet, calm space, take a few deep breaths, and I want you to close your eyes and imagine in 1 year what you want your life to look like. I want you to, to really, to not do those cursory to-do list kind of items, but really get into the meat of how do I want to feel, what kinds of adjectives would describe the life that I have? Is it calm? Is it meaningful? Am I abundant? Do I feel financial freedom? What are those kinds of descriptive words? And then, as if it's already happened and you're telling somebody about it, I want you to write that down. I want you to write down the vision that you have for the life that you're creating. Now you're probably thinking, oh my gosh, I did not think when I was coming on this morning that I was going to get a lesson in, mindfulness or meditation or any of this kind of woo-woo stuff. I thought I was coming on here for productivity and I want to know how to manage my to-do list. I'm telling you that this is it. This is the secret sauce to managing your to-do list. Okay, so you're going to write it down. You're going to say, I am so excited. It's amazing in what has transpired for me in this past year. In this past year, I have transformed my health so that now I have a gorgeous body that I feel amazing moving with and just glows with the radiance of health. Okay, the relationship with my husband is stronger than it's ever been. We've been connecting on a daily basis, and I love to spend time with him. In my work, it's so satisfying, and I want you to go through and talk to me as if it's already happened. Write that down. Write that vision for yourself for the next 12 months down on a piece of paper. Okay? Look and see what kind of big major things come out. Do you have any insights about where you want to go and where your current reality in life has you sitting? And then you can look and see how your current to-do list aligns with that. Are the things that are on your list in alignment with that vision that you created for yourself? Is it going to help you get there? And if not, I want you to consider very seriously whether or not that remains, or whether there's another way that you can get to that life that you just wrote out for yourself. As soon as you start by writing it down, you begin to make it happen. It doesn't have to wait until until a year from now. You wait until a year from now and you'll still be exactly where you are. But as soon as you write that down, you start to get those wheels turning and going, you know what? Does this hold up? Does this activity that I've just planned for myself, does this hold up against my litmus test of how I want my life to be? And if it doesn't, I want you to consider very seriously whether you engage in that particular activity. And you can do this with the work that you're doing. Certainly some big questions may come up if the work you're doing isn't in line with where you'd like to go, but now you have this just amazing, tremendous opportunity to make a shift, if that makes sense for you, and really get into alignment with where you want to be with your life. On a day-to-day basis, I would like you to look at the activities that you're doing on a day-to-day basis. What can I do today to create the life that I would like to see for myself, in 1 year from now? What can I be doing today? What one step could I take? Maybe right now you feel like you have to continue to check those boxes, but I want you to slowly add in some of those activities that are going to get you to where you would like to go. I am so glad that it makes sense. And I'm going to tell you, in all honesty, you're going to have this plan, and then what's going to happen is life is going to happen. things are going to come up and stuff's going to get in the way. You're going to feel like, I made this great plan and it was beautiful, and now, I'm allowing stuff back on my list. I'm doing things for other people that don't align with what I'd like, where I'd like to be, or I got sick, or my child got sick, or we moved unexpectedly. I mean, all of these things, they are going to happen. So while you're thinking about where you'd like to go, I want you to actually turn a little bit and think about what might get in the way. Because if we plan for that, if we expect that's going to happen, because I guarantee you, as long as this day is, something's going to get in the way, something's going to come up. It's going to be an opportunity for you to learn about how important that vision that you had for yourself is. So it'll teach you something. It'll teach you something about patience. It'll teach you something about interacting with people, about who you are, about your values. Something's going to happen that's going to try and, kind of take your attention away from where you think you want to go. And that is an opportunity to learn and to grow. And I would love for you to think about it in that way, that it's really a gift, a challenge for you to learn something new. So think about what might come up. Might it be fear? Might it be, an inability to keep your boundaries clear? Could a health crisis potentially pop up? Might others get in the way? And this is not clear the decks, bowl everyone down and take what's yours, at all costs. But it's an opportunity for you to think about, what would I do? What will I do when that happens? When you think about it ahead of time, you can start incorporating those now into your day-to-day practices, so that, you can say, I realize that what might come up for me is that even though I've told no one on this entire planet, I actually don't think I'm worth anything, right? That mindset, which is so common with high achievers and entrepreneurs, is that they believe this kind of imposter syndrome, that they're going to be found out, that somebody's going to realize they're not as great and awesome as they present themselves to be. So if that comes up for you, what are you going to do? How are you going to make sure that that doesn't get in the way of creating this life that you've envisioned for yourself? I'm not even going to do a show of hands, because I know that, for every high achiever and for every entrepreneur, at some point in their lives, this thought has just, bored into their head, and they're saying, you know what? Someday somebody's going to find out about me. What could you do on a day-to-day basis to make sure that your belief system in yourself is so strong and unshakable that, when that crops up, you know what to do? You call your best friend, you make a journal of all the things that you've accomplished, you do something to get you back into your feeling good and positive about yourself. And I'm not saying, you should forget about everything that maybe is bad, and I'm bad in quotes, not going as well for you in your life as you hoped. But what I'm saying is that you cannot have both thoughts at the same time. You cannot be both thankful and grateful and in positive expectation about the good things that are coming to you in your life, and worried, fearful, angry, frustrated, overwhelmed. You cannot have both feelings at the same time. So while you're in this negative space, these good things are not coming to you. But vice versa, when you're in this positive space, these negative things are not available to you. So you need to look at, what am I doing right now that it's keeping me in the negative space? Is my to-do list keeping me in my negative space? Are those emails keeping me down? Or, is my frustration with my schedule, is that really keeping me in this overwhelmed, overworked, tired, frustrated, angry, fearful space? Or is it, am I moving into this hopeful space? So look at that lens and kind of check in with yourself. How are you feeling today? Are you feeling encouraged about what you are going to accomplish, or are you feeling completely overwhelmed? When you get into that completely overwhelmed space, what are you going to do? It will be like just beating your head against a wall. You will truly not be successful if you're in the overwhelmed space and you just keep pushing harder and harder and harder. Nothing is going to move or shift for you. You have to actually flip it and get yourself over here. And there's a wonderful, beautiful ways that you can do this. Call a friend, go dancing, turn on the music and primal scream or singing, in your horribly out of tune voice, your favorite song with the windows down in your car as loud as you possibly can. Move your body, go for a run, go for a walk, meditate, take a nap, smell the flowers, whatever you need to do to shift back over here, and then look. And then look and see, okay, now what can I do? Now what can I accomplish? Now what do I need to do to make that vision that I have for myself into a reality? What's coming up for you? That was like a fire hose of information, and a way to kind of reframe how you're thinking about your to-do list and your productivity. But I'd love to hear from you. And if you have another question for me, I see we've got somebody else popped on. Hi, Nancy. If you've got a question for me, type it in below. And if not, I will just keep going. And actually, maybe now's a good time to kind of segue and think about how you can make this happen for yourself. Good morning. So good to have you here. So here's the thing. It is one thing to create a vision for yourself off into the distant future and say, every day I'm going to work on that. Every day I'm going to do this. But the reality is, just like I said, every day something is going to try and creep its way in. And even if you're the most driven person in the world, you're still human, right? It's hard when you're at the top and there's nobody else to be accountable to, or when you're at the top and you don't necessarily want people to know that on a day-to-day basis, sometimes things are rough and you need that soft place to land. So what I've done is I've created what's known as the Sapari Momentum Accountability Program. Really, the purpose is to get you going and keep that speed up. Hi, Jessica. Thanks for joining us this morning. And so what I do is I have a handful of people. Really, it's not a large group. I'm very particular about who comes into this program. And actually, today, now, for the next couple of days, I have 5 spaces open for the next group that's starting. On a daily basis, I am touching base with those people based on the vision that they've created for themselves and where they'd like to go, and asking questions. And you may think, you know what, I've had an accountability buddy in the past, I've got a business coach. I'm not here to replace either of those things, although maybe the accountability buddy. I'm going to check in with you and I'm going to ask you those deep questions, and I'm going to make sure that you're holding to your standard of where you would like to go. On a monthly basis, you will get an opportunity to mastermind with others, in your group, in a small, intimate setting. It's all done online, so wherever you are, you will have the opportunity to join in and to reset, okay, where are we going for 30 days? Because truth be told, a year is a very long time. When you're in the thick of things, it can be easy to say, you know what, I've got time. I've got till the end of the year. I'm going to work on that. But this fire is so important. I got to put this fire out. You will be putting fires out every single day of your life. And all of a sudden, at the end of the year, you're going to go, what the heck just happened? I had a whole year and I still didn't get that thing done. I still didn't write that book. I still didn't look at that new job. I didn't ask for the promotion. I didn't launch that product that I wanted to get going. So whatever it is, we're gonna bring that focus into just what you can manage on a month-to-month basis, and then we bring it even smaller to what you can manage on a day-to-day basis. So in this program, you have those daily check-ins based on what you have said you would like to accomplish. You have the monthly masterminds with your peers to establish what you're going to be getting done, to reflect on what worked and what didn't. You have lots of resources at your fingertips that you can use on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a quarterly basis, on an annual basis. If there are programs that come up, they're all included. So the launch2018.com program that happened at the beginning of this year, that's part of the program. On a monthly basis, there's going to be stuff that comes up. And if something comes up for you, you have the opportunity to set a time to have a one-on-one productivity coaching session with me. And we're really going to dive deep into what's going on and make that path forward. So you could say, you know what, I don't get it. I'm doing everything right. I'm doing everything you said, but for some reason I'm just hitting a wall on this one issue. We're going to look at that and see what we can do to shift you out of that space. The kind of coaching that I engage in puts you at the center of it. I truly believe that you have everything that you need within yourself in order to move forward. You have likely already been to coaching sessions, you've read the books, you've gone to programs, and now it's time to implement what you know. So we're going to take that knowledge and we're going to draw it back out so you can look at it and reflect on it and and see how it applies in your situation and move you forward. So that's just a little bit. If you're interested in that program, all you need to do is to go to sapariconsulting.com/accountability, and you'll have the opportunity to apply to the program. Like I said, I'm only taking 5, so I usually do get a good number of applications, and I choose the folks that I really feel are going to be a good fit for the program. So there'll be some questions to ask, and if you're selected, we'll start next week. I'm happy to get started as soon as possible with you, getting those big dreams that you have done, helping you create and stick to the vision that you have for yourself. So I want to switch back again. We've talked now about email. We've talked about to-do lists. Is there something weighing on your mind? Is some topic on productivity, on time management, on organization that you'd like to get an answer on? I'm here to answer those questions for you. Whatever it is, just type it in the box, and I will respond and look forward to your interaction with that as well. I'll give you 1 second to kind of see where that leads you. Check and make sure that there's no one trying to just jump in here. Should have some traveling music as we go along. Okay, very good. All right, so I'm going to talk about, since no questions have come up and no more, I'm going to talk about one thing that I'd like to share with you here, and that is the kinds of results that you could potentially expect if you were to, bye Mary, I'll see you later, if you were to engage, in this momentum program and really get that ball rolling for yourself. Typically the kinds of people who are joining in this program are high achieving entrepreneurs, people who are driven and have big goals that they would like to make manifest over the next 6 to 12 months. You could be the CEO of your company, you could be upper level management. Both of those also work really well in this program. So some of the results that we're seeing, we had one person come into the program thinking about maybe, adding on to their retail space. Within a month, it was clear that the best way to get from A to B was actually to look for an entirely new space. And that ball got rolling, and within the 2 months, she was under contract, renovating her new space in order to move forward on that big goal. Just the other day I was talking to someone, and actually you can hear her testimonial if you go on to sapariconsulting.com, accountability, and she says, I needed to record this video. It was a marketing video that was going to launch her, the new product that she had going, and typically something like this would take her weeks, to really get her mind into and to do it, and she would procrastinate and be a perfectionist, and it was going to take a long time. She did it in a day. One day after our conversation, she just took care of it and got it done, and now she has 3 clients in that program. Not weeks later, days later, 3 clients in that particular program. So if you're really looking to move forward, this is a great way to do it. So Jessica says, the best way to delegate to children in the house, include them in general upkeep, and keeping of household running smoothly. Okay, so, and that's a variety of ages. I understand that. So delegation here, across the board is looking for people's strengths. What is that person capable of, and what do they do really, really well? So instead of thinking about, okay, you know what, everybody needs the opportunity to do the dishes, wash the floor, check the mail, feed the animals, those kinds of things, you may find that it works better to find where people really thrive. And I understand, as a parent, I'm just going to say, you do want your kids to learn all the different aspects, but instead of focusing on that, focus on, where is their skill set, and where are their interests, and where are their strengths. So if it's not a strength for one particular child to, for instance, clean up their room, but another one's really great at it, maybe that person partners with the other child and helps them along in that process. Knowing still too that as each child progresses, they develop into being able to do certain things on their own. So my recommendation would be honestly to sit down to a family meeting and say, okay, this is everything that needs doing, and instead of just assigning this out, let's talk about who would do well in each particular job, and assign it like you would if you were an employer, right? We have a great program on Sapari Solutions, which really speaks more to residential organizing, called The Business of Home. And it takes a lot of concepts and ideas from the business world and applies them to your home environment, setting mission statements, values, delegating, assigning work, and getting everybody on board. So if this is something that's interesting to you and you'd like to know a little bit more about that program, it is available if you go to saparisolutions.com and look at the coaching program there. We have all of the past classes and things like that are available through the coaching program. So I can message you on that a little bit later, or post some links so that you can gain access to it. I hope that was helpful. So going back to some of the results and things that you could potentially expect in the Momentum program, these are the things that are just so easy, the tasks on your list that are so easy to say, I'll get this tomorrow because this client just called and I have to answer them right now, or this employee is has this particular issue and I've got to deal with it right now. I'm going to make sure that you're keeping those things front and center, so you're still moving forward on the stuff that's going to get you to your big goals, but you're not losing sight of what you have to do on a day-to-day basis, which can be so important. I had one person describe this program as having, a productivity dominatrix, basically, in your corner, or a business best friend, just right there, keeping you in line with where you would like to go. However you would like to envision it is okay by me, but just know that the days of spinning your wheels and working ineffectively and inefficiently on the stuff that's important to you are absolutely gone, as you're part of this particular program. Any questions that you might have, please post them down below, and I'd love to answer those for you. And any kind of last minute insights, ahas, and stuff like that, I would be happy to talk about and just get your feedback on how this is striking you. So what's coming up for you? Where are your challenges, with regard to what you're doing, and where could we shed some light on those things? Okay, so I'm going to redirect you one more time just so that you get all of what you're looking for today. Check it out. Go to sapariconsulting.com/accountability. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, please do get your application in the next couple days, because we are closing out the program with just 5 new members. So I will take all the applications, I review them, I look and see if you're going to be a good fit for the program, and then from there, we select 5 so that we can continue to have this very intimate and helpful experience. So last time, just going to go over this so that you get everything that you need. It's daily accountability check-ins with the opportunity to kind of on the spot coach you through issues that might be coming up. You have monthly mastermind sessions with your peers, and thank you, Jessica. I really appreciate that and the ability to help you, find a way to alleviate some of the burden of running the house while you're continuing your pursuits, right? You've got to be able, as a mom, as an entrepreneur, as a business person, to keep all of these plates spinning, right? And I didn't even say wife yet, so add that in, and volunteer and community. Oh my gosh, there's just so much that is open and available. And how do we balance all of that and still feel great about ourselves and what we're doing? So you have the monthly check-ins, and you have the Facebook group, and you have the resources that are available. Any and all programs that have ever come up are available to you. Access to those so that you can use those in your daily, weekly, quarterly, yearly planning. And then you have not only all of that, but access to do productivity coaching on a monthly basis as things come up, and accountability coaching right on the spot. You can schedule that time. Some of the things that have come out of these coaching sessions were a business name, something that had stymied this particular person for months. We sat down in one session when we're able to draw that out. And that's not me saying, hey, this is what you should call your business. That's absolutely that person knowing themselves and just having the right questions asked to come up with a name that was meaningful for them. An ability to sort through that to-do list, to pick the most important things in order to get cash flowing right away. So, if cash flow issues are an issue, then that can be something that we work on in those sessions. Raising rates, that has come up a couple times. How to offer yourself, how to say, what you do and express that has come up. Anything that's on your mind that you need that sounding board, somebody to ask the deep questions to, those are the things that we can address in the monthly one-on-one coaching sessions. But you still have the daily accountability, and you still have the monthly masterminds, and you still have the resources that are available to you. So go to SapariConsulting.com/accountability. You'll have the ability there to apply to the program. And as I said, I will be accepting all of the applications and determining who is going to be the best fit for the next 5 slots. And that opportunity closes over the next couple of days. So get those in, and I look forward to talking to you. Any last questions on productivity, time management, organization that I can help you with before we go today? Okay, well, in an interest to be mindful of your time and energy and resources, I'm going to sign off. I've really enjoyed talking to you, and I look forward to hearing from you and to receiving your application and any other questions. Actually, a last minute note, if there is something that comes up, or if you're thinking, I don't know, is this the right fit for me? Go to SapariConsulting.com, schedule a time to speak with me, and I'd be happy to answer those questions. We can have a chat about where you are, where you'd like to go, and see if this is a good fit. Okay? All right. I'll take care, and I'll talk to you later. La la la. That's what happens when you talk straight for an hour. All right. Bye-bye.